truck, blinded by the downpour, skidded into his lane. The collision was brutal. Metal twisted, glass shattered, and in a matter of seconds, Ya's car was wrecked beyond recognition. By the time paramedics arrived, he was still breathing, but barely. His brain, however, had already surrendered. Aminata was the one who got the call. She had rushed to the hospital, rain-soaked and shaking, her hands clenched together as if she could pray this nightmare away. But when she saw him lying there, tubes running from his body, the machines breathing for him, she knew. She had seen this too many times before. Ya was gone. Her chest felt like it was caving in. He had been her family, the only person who had remained constant in her life, who had understood her pain without needing explanations. Now, she had to make the hardest decision of her life. The doctors spoke in careful tones. "His organs are still viable," one of them said gently. "We can save lives, doctor." She closed her eyes. "We can save lives." She knew what that meant. It wasn't just about any random recipient. It was about Kwame. His surgery had been postponed for weeks because they hadn't found a match. But Ya was a match. A sob caught in her throat, but she swallowed it. This was what Ya would have wanted. With trembling hands, she signed the papers. Kwame never knew. The transplant was done. The recovery was long and grueling, but his body adjusted well to the new heart. He felt stronger than he had in years. But something felt off. Ya stopped visiting. Aminata became even more distant, treating him with an almost mechanical detachment. Whenever he asked about his brother, he was given vague responses. "He's out of town. He's busy. He'll be back soon." And then, 2 months later, he found out. It wasn't from Aminata. It wasn't even from a doctor. A nurse, unaware that he had been kept in the dark, casually mentioned how tragic it was that his own brother had been his donor. Kwame's world imploded. His chest tightened. Not from the surgery, not from physical pain, but from something much worse. He stormed out of his hospital room, ignoring the pain lancing through his still-healing body, demanding answers. Aminata found him in the hallway, his face twisted in fury. "You lied to me!" His voice was hoarse, raw. "You let me sit here for 2 months, without telling me that my own brother is dead?" Aminata remained still, her face unreadable. "You were recovering," she said evenly. "You had no right," he roared, his hands clenched. "I should have known, His voice broke. Aminata took a step forward, her eyes locking onto his. "You? You should have known?" She let out a bitter laugh. "You think you deserve to know? When did you ever care about Ya? When was the last time you saw him before all of this?" Kwame opened his mouth, but no words came. She shook her head. "He was always there for you, Kwame. Even when you hated him, even when you resented him. And in the end, he still saved you." Kwame's heart pounded. But this time, it wasn't his illness. It was grief. Unforgiving. Unrelenting. He turned away, pressing a shaking hand against his chest, against the heart that wasn't his anymore. Ya had given him life, and now he had to live with it. Kwame struggled to reconcile with the reality of his new lease on life. Every heartbeat felt foreign, as if his body carried a debt he could never repay. How could he move forward, knowing the very thing keeping him alive was his brother's final sacrifice? Sleep evaded him, his mind plagued by memories of Ya, the brother he had resented, the brother who had never given up on him. Ya's funeral had taken place weeks before Kwame had even learned the truth. The church had organized a grand service, attended by friends, family, and colleagues who had known Ya as a kind-hearted, selfless man. Kwame had missed it all. The thought gnawed at him, deepening his grief. One evening, he called Aminata. "I need to say goodbye properly." She didn't ask questions. She only nodded. A few days later, in the quiet seclusion of a private cemetery, Kwame stood before Ya's gravestone, the weight of his regrets pressing down on him. He laid a single white rose on the marble slab, his hands trembling. "I should have been a better brother," he whispered. "I should have told you that I was proud of you, that I loved you." The wind carried his words into the evening sky, offering no solace, but perhaps, just perhaps, Yah had heard him. Later that evening, Aminata sat across from Kwame in her living room, a look of hesitation on her face. "There's something you don't know," she began carefully. Kwame leaned forward, puzzled. "What is it?" She took a deep breath. "Before you left, when my father demanded I have an abortion, I didn't go through with it." His breath hitched. "What?" "I ran." Her voice trembled slightly as she recalled the past. "Yah helped me. The church helped me. I escaped the clinic before it was too late." Kwame's heart pounded. He searched her face for any sign that she was lying, but all he found was truth. A devastating, unimaginable truth. He swallowed hard. "You mean?" "Yes." Aminata nodded, her eyes glassy. "You have a son, Kwame. He's 14 years old." Kwame felt the room spin. His fingers dug into the couch as the weight of her words settled over him. He had a child? A son? All these years? He exhaled shakily. "I thought you hated me. I thought you followed through with it because—" He shook his head, unable to finish. Aminata's gaze softened. "I could never hate you, Kwame. But I had to protect our child. My father would have never let me keep him if I had stayed. Yah helped me access my late mother's trust fund, and with that, I was able to take care of myself and our son." Kwame blinked, his throat tightening. "And medical school?" She smiled faintly. "I worked hard. I graduated with honors, and after my father passed, I returned to his house because, ironically, he left everything to me in his will. I built a stable life for our son, but there was always one thing missing." Kwame's pulse quickened. "Me." Aminata nodded. "He's been asking about you more and more. He's smart, Kwame. And lately, he's been acting out. He gets into trouble at school, demanding to know who his father is. I think it's time you meet him." Kwame ran a hand down his face. "I don't know if I can do this, Aminata." She reached for his hand, her warmth grounding him. "No one does at first, but you don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up." Kwame stiffened. "Aminata, you can't keep running," she said. "Not from this." Kwame turned away, hands clenched. "I don't know how to be a father," he admitted. "I don't even know if I'd be good at it." Kwame felt something tighten in his chest. "Maybe I am the worst thing for him," he muttered. Aminata shook her head. "No, Kwame. The worst thing for him is growing up believing that nobody wanted him." Silence. Then finally Kwame sighed. "All right," he whispered. "I'll meet him." And for the first time in what felt like forever, Kwame felt something stir inside him. Not guilt. Not regret. Hope. Maybe, just maybe, he had been given this second chance for a reason, and this time, he wasn't going to waste it.